Donald Trump is very much like that termite problem that you can't see or find in your house in this breaking story. And then 5 years later, the next thing you know, your house is crumbling. Stay with me on this one because, oh my goodness, have you got to see this breaking story because Trump just got hammered in court and it's very, very important. I'm going to show that story to you in just a few seconds, but that's what happens. We live in a 24-hour news cycle, and what we don't see is we don't see what comes down the road 2 and 3 and 4 years later when it's been going on in the background. And that's exactly what just happened in court to Donald Trump and Donald Trump media. He tried to sue Rachel Maddow. That's right. And what did he try and sue her over? Maybe when you listen to this will sound really familiar to exactly what's going on with Jeffrey Epstein right now. I'm going to show you the breaking story in a few seconds. Check out this sound and see how familiar it sounds from Donald Trump and his minions. Really similar playbook to the narrative going on right now as a cover-up, doesn't it? Oh, but there's more. That's the point. You create a lawsuit that's not about what's actually been done legally. It's about trying to say, well, since you did that, you shouldn't. It's exactly what's currently going on in Epstein land. And that's exactly why in this breaking story, Trump just lost. Check this out. Breaking news. Trump media loses defamation case against Rachel Maddow. A federal judge has thrown out a defamation lawsuit filed by Devin Nunes, former congressman of California, and current CEO of Trump Media against NBC Universal over a comment made by MSNBC host Rachel Maddow. The case centered on something Maddow said during a March 2021 episode of The Rachel Maddow Show. She told viewers that Nunes, in quotes, refused to hand it over to the FBI, which is what you should do if you get something from somebody who is sanctioned by the U.S. as a Russian agent, end quote. Maddow was referring to a package Nunes received in 2019 from Andriy Derkach, a Ukrainian politician tied to Russian intelligence. Nunes claimed that this was a lie and that Maddow knew it, arguing that he did, in fact, turn the package over to federal authorities. But on Friday, U.S. District Judge Kevin Castile dismissed the case, saying there was no proof Maddow acted with, in quotes, actual malice, a legal standard required for public figures to win defamation suits, noted Reuters. Castile wrote in his 24-page ruling that Nunes didn't show Maddow knew about a 2020 Politico article reporting the FBI had received the package. In quotes, there is no evidence that the defendant's admitted political bias caused defendant to act with a reckless disregard of the truth, he said. The U.S. Treasury had sanctioned Derkach in 2020 for trying to interfere in that year's presidential election to help Donald Trump. In 2022, federal prosecutors charged him with money laundering and sanctions violations. He hasn't been caught. Neither Nunes, Trump Media, nor NBC Universal lawyers have commented publicly since the ruling. You see, this is what happens with real stories. It takes time to adjudicate them. They're not in 24 hours. People forget about things in 2020, 2021, 2022, but that's exactly what's going down. This is exactly what Trump's doing right now, raking in all the money he and his family are raking in while he's president in his second term. We're not going to know how many hundreds of billions of dollars he stole or enriched himself, emoluments clause, while he was president until years from now, when somebody finally discovers the account in Cyprus. This is the same thing they're doing with the Epstein case right now. Bury it far enough, and eventually, victims will die or accidentally die, and or the general public will call it a nothing burger because we've become numb to the truth. We've become numb to consequence. We've been numb to prosecution, and that's exactly what the Republicans and the GOP have been successful at, and they've been working on doing it not for 2 years, not for 5 years, not for 10. Oh, no, for 40 years, since the first year of Reagan's second term, 1985. Trust me on the sunscreen. That's why it's important that people like Rachel Maddow or anyone never stop suing and never stop winning and beating people like Donald Trump. Hey, Donnie, you freaking lost. You fired. You guys stay frosty.